This may be a bit extreme, but if Georgia loses to Georgia Tech this weekend, that special season we thought we had with this Georgia team starting 9-0 would be ruined. You can't go 10-1, start the season undefeated, and then lose to Georgia Tech. We have a guest on my radio show every year that says Georgia's season is always defined by what they do against Florida, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Well, Georgia embarrassed the Gators this season. They were then embarrassed by the Tigers. A loss to Georgia Tech will make Georgia 10-2 and knock the Bulldogs out of the chance to be a national championship contender. They simply cannot lose this game. Georgia Tech is 5-5 after losing to Duke last week. It was a horrible loss to the Yellow Jackets, who had bounced back the week before with a win over Virginia Tech. But against Duke, the Yellow Jackets were shut out in the second half. Duke and Georgia Tech were tied at 20, and then Duke scored 23 unanswered points for the 43-20 win. The Blue Devils even outrushed Georgia Tech, which was shocking. So Georgia, with the great running game it has, cannot be outrushed by the Yellow Jackets. If Duke ran for 319 against Georgia Tech, Georgia better run for just as much. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel is the best duo at running back Georgia has ever had. These two have played Tech 3 times. They've lost twice. They've lost both games in Athens. So you know these two seniors will want to beat Georgia Tech this Saturday on the flats. The problem is Georgia Tech is desperate. They're 5-5 and must win to go to a bowl game. Plus, their bad season could look a lot better if they beat Georgia. And this is a rivalry game, so anything could happen when two rivals get together. The Bulldogs have had the better talent. They've also had the much better season. And Tech coach Paul Johnson said Monday he believes this is the best Georgia team he's ever faced. So there's no reason Georgia should lose. The Bulldogs had to learn a lot after the game against Auburn. They had to learn they are not perfect and they must play well every single week. It's not that Georgia Tech will not put up a challenge. They'll probably play with more effort than in any game this season. But Georgia is simply the better team. They still have a chance of being in the national championship picture, so they can't lose this game, and they won't. Take Georgia 34-20. Georgia will finish 11-1 in the regular season, and that's a lot better than we thought they would be. We should all be very pleased that Georgia has taken great steps forward in year 2 of the Kirby Smart era. And we should all enjoy the great games in college football this holiday weekend.